Today, we're going to be bringing different characters to life with animation. Our goal is to make a scene with multiple characters that all have a different coded animation. Before we start, I want to show you a few helpful tips that will help you when you're setting up your scene. First, let's take a look at the way our stage is set up. The stage creates something called a coordinate grid system that uses an X and a Y axis to help determine the location of a sprite. X is the position on the stage that will allow our character to move from left to right. To make them move right, we need X to be a positive number. To make them move left, we need to use a negative number. Y is the position on the stage from the top to bottom. To make our character move up, we need Y to be a positive number. To move them down, we need to use a negative number. We will be using X and Y today to help us code our characters, so keep this grid in mind as you're working. Second, let's take a look at some quick ways to edit a sprite. This can be found below our scene. As the sprite is moved, X and Y is automatically adjusted. The size can also be changed to be bigger or to be smaller. The direction the sprite is changing can also be adjusted from here. If we click, we can drag our arrow and rotate our character. Now it's time to look at our project card and follow the steps in order to create our scene. You can choose to use some of the same sprites and backgrounds as the examples, or you can change it up. Just be sure to follow all of the same steps and that your scene makes sense. If we look at our project card, there are 8 different types of animation you can code. You need to have at least 4 different animations in order to complete this project. This means you will have at least 4 different sprites used in your scene. Time to start our project. Once we get into our CS First dashboard, we need to click on the blue plus sign and then the New Project button. We always need to name our projects first. Go up to the project name box and delete where it says untitled and a number. Type animate a character and your first name. Now, let's code our scene. The first thing we need to do is decide on the background we are using for our scene. This background will stay the same for all the different animations we are adding. With each new animation, we are going to be adding a new sprite. I'm going to choose to create an underwater scene. I'm going to go to choose a background, then I'm going to search for the background that I want and click on it to add it. The first animation is having a character move using the arrow keys. We need to choose a character that fits in our scene. Because the scratch cat doesn't fit in my scene, I need to delete them. I'm going to go down and click on the trash can. Now I'm going to add in a sprite. I'm going to go to the choose a sprite button. You can search through the categories, you can scroll through the whole library, or you can search for something specific. Once you find a character that you like, you're going to click on them to add them to your scene. Now it's time to add the code that will allow us to use the arrow keys to move our character around the scene. The first thing I'm going to do is code my character to move left and right. I'm going to go to the events block, drag out 2 when the space bar is clicked. The top one I'm going to have say right arrow, the bottom one says left arrow. For the right arrow, I'm going to go to the motion block, drag out change X by 10. Then for the left arrow, I'm going to do drag X by 10, and I'm going to click and do -10 so that it moves left. Now I'm going to go back to the events block. I'm going to drag out 2 more when space is clicked. Now I'm going to do up arrow for the first one, down arrow for the second one. I'm going to go to the motion blocks, and instead of change X, I'm changing Y by 10 for up. Then I'm doing change Y by -10 to go down. Now I'm going to test it out, and my character moves using my arrow keys. The next animation on the project card is making the character jump. First, I need to choose a new character to add to my scene. I'm going to go to the choose a sprite and search for the character that I want. Click on them to add. Now I'm going to drag them down to the bottom, and I want this crab to be smaller. Now it's time to add the code. I'm going to go to my events block. I'm going to drag out when space key is pressed. I'm going to go to my motion block. and I'm going to do change Y by, and then it's going to change to 60. Then I'm going to go to my control block and drag out the weight, and I'm going to type in 0.3. Then I'm going to go back to my motion block, drag change Y by, and type -60. Now I'm going to click the space bar, and my crab jumps. Another animation we can create is switching the poses when a key is pressed. The project card says spacebar, but I'm going to use a different key since I already used the spacebar for my crab. First, I need to choose a new character. Be sure to choose a character with multiple costumes. Scroll over sprites in the sprite library to see if they have a different costume. I'm going to go down to the Add Sprites button. And if you hover over them, it will change the costume. I like the pufferfish. I'm going to add them. Make sure that you are always selecting the character that you're working on for that animation. I'm going to drag this character over to the side. I'm going to make sure that I'm in my code tab. Now I'm going to go to the events block when space key is pressed. Instead of the space bar, I'm going to use A. So when I type on the A key, my pufferfish is going to change its costume. So when I look at the costumes, I want him to start with costume pufferfish A and end with pufferfish D so that it looks like he's winking. So I'm going to go to the Lux block. I'm going to find the switch costume to, and I'm going to start with A. Then I'm going to go to the control block, have it wait, and I'm going to type in my 0.3 again. I'm going to go to the looks block again, and I'm going to drag out switch costume, and then it's already pufferfish D. Now, when I click on the A button, he's winking. All right, the next character is going to glide from point to point when the green flag is clicked. I want to add a fish that's going to go from the left side of my screen to the right side. So first I need to choose a new character by going to the choose a sprite. I'm going to search for a fish sprite, and I like this one here. I'm going to drag it up to where I want it to start, and I want my fish to be smaller, so I'm going to change my size so it's a little bit more realistic. Now it's time to add the code. So first I'm going to go to the events block when the green flag is clicked. Then I'm going to go to motion, and I'm going to go and find the go to X and Y. The values are already filled in for me based on where the character is on the stage. So the first thing that I want to do is drag it to where I want it to go first. And I'm going to drag the glide 1 second to that position. Then I'm going to go to the end of my scene and drag the glide 1 second to XY. Now I'm going to click the green flag and try it out. I like that. The next option we have is the character is going to appear to be walking. First, I need to choose a character that's a walking or running sprite. So we're going to go to the choose a sprite. In the search bar, I'm going to start typing walking. I think it'd be funny to have this guy walking on the bottom of the ocean floor, so I'm going to click on them. I'm actually going to move my pufferfish up a little bit and then drag my walking character down here. I need to change his size so that he's smaller. There we go. I like that. Then I need to add the code. So I'm going to go to the events block when the green flag is clicked. Go to the motion block. I'm going to have it start at the position he's in. So I'm going to drag go to XY. Now I'm going to click the control blocks, and I'm going to find the repeat loop. And instead of 10, I'm going to have it say 50. And I'm going to go to the motion block and do the move 10 steps. And then I'm going to do looks, and I'm going to drag next costume. So I'm going to try that out, click the flag. Okay, that's a little too far. So instead of 50, I might say 40. So let's try again. See, I want him to stop right before the crab. So let's try 30. There we go. And now he sees the crab. Okay, the next option you have is a character that's going to look like they're flying. So first, I need to choose a new character that's a flying sprite. Mine's not going to fit exactly in the scene, but I just wanted to show you what it might look like. So I'm going to go down to my choose a sprite, and I'm going to start by searching for a flying sprite. I think it would be really funny to have a hippo in my scene, so I'm going to click on that hippo. Now I want to set my starting point again. So I actually want them to go from this bottom right corner of the stage up to the left corner. I want to change the direction that my sprite is looking. So it looks like he's looking in the direction he's flying. I'm going to go over to the costumes tab. And I'm going to say flip horizontal. So he's looking the other way. And I need to do that for my other costume. I'm going to click flip horizontal so it's looking the other way. So when he's flapping his wings, he's going to be looking the same direction. So now I'm going to go back to my code tab and add the code according to the project card. So first I need to go to my events block. I'm going to do when green flag is clicked. I'm going to go up to the motion block and go to my XY that's already filled in based on where. So then I'm going to drag my hippo up to where I want him to end up. And I'm going to do glide 1 second to that. So let me see how fast that is. Okay. Okay, so I actually want him to go a little bit slower, so I'm going to change it to 2 seconds. Try that again. Yeah, I like that better so that he ends when the fish ends at the other side of the screen. Now it's time to make him appear like he's flapping the wings. So I'm going to go back to my events block. I'm going to make another line of code when the green flag is pressed. I'm going to go to my control, drag out my repeat block, and I'm going to go to my looks block and do switch costume to, and I want to start with the A. Then I'm going to go to my control. I'm going to do wait, and instead of 1 second, I'm going to do 0.1 seconds. Then I'm going to go to my looks block and do switch costume to hippo B. And then I'm going to have it go to my control block and do wait. And then 0.1 seconds again. All right, so I'm going to test it out. Oh, it repeated too many times. So maybe I'll try 5. Not quite. Let's try 7. That's exactly where I want it to stop. All right, so the last option we have is having a character look like they're talking. So first we need to choose a new character. So I'm going to go to my choose a sprite. I'm going to go to my animals, and I'm going to find a character that fits my scene but has a costume that I could use to make it look like it's talking. So I've seen the starfish, and I like this one. So I'm going to click on the starfish. And I'm going to drag him down here, and I'm going to change his size. So he's small again. And I'm going to have him make an exclamation when our walking character walks over him. So I'm actually going to start him pretty close to where that character begins. Yep, that looks good. And now it's time to add the code. So I'm going to go to my events block. We're going to do when the green flag is clicked. I'm going to go to looks, say, hey, watch it for 2 seconds. Then I'm going to go back to my events block when the green flag is clicked. I'm going to go to the looks block and do switch costume from A. And then I'm going to have them go to the control block, do wait. And then I'm going to do 0.3 seconds. And then I'm going to have we go to looks block and switch costume to starfish B. Let's see what that looks like. I like how that looks. So now it's your turn. Choose 4 of the animations you want to add to a scene, use the project card or the tutorial to help you, and get coding.